I had discussed about the brief idea about the cable in previous classes. Today I will discuss the next part of the cables. In today's lesson my topic of discussion is on the grading of cable. Now there are some advantages of cables in our application area, like the fault location repair. In general, there are a little chance of fault in underground system or underground cables, but if the fault occurs, it is difficult to locate and repair the system. Whereas in case of the overhead system, the fault repairing system is quite easy. Next, useful life of the underground cables is much longer than the overhead system. Next, the maintenance cost. The maintenance cost of underground system is very low as compared to the overhead system. Next, public safety. The underground system is more safe than overhead system because this line is distributed inside the ground. But the underground system is most expensive due to the high cost of the installation. The flexibility of underground cables is no more because this is placed in the underground system. Next, the chances of fault in underground systems are very rare as the cables are laid underground and are generally provided with better insulations. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of underground cables. Now a cable is basically an insulated conductor, is protected against the mechanical injuries, moisture and the chemical reactions. The conductor is usually aluminium or copper, while the insulation is mostly PVC or other types of components. Cables developed should not be only the economically attractive, but physically they should be able to carry large amount of power. So now the grading of cable. It has been observed that the electrostatic stress is in a single core cable is maximum at the conductor surface and decreases toward the sheets. In a cable having homogeneous insulation, the maximum voltage which can be safely applied to the cable is limited by the electrostatic stress at the conductor surface. If a dielectric of high strength is used in a cable, there is no doubt that it is useful just over the conductor where the stress is maximum. But as we go away from the conductor surface, the value of dielectric stress decreases. So the dielectric will be unnecessarily strong and expensive. Now, if however, by some means of stress can be so distributed as the value of the outer layer of the dielectric is increased without increasing the stress near to the conductor, insulation of less thickness will be required for any given working voltage and vital economy will be affected. The process of achieving uniform in dielectric stress is known as the grading of the cable. So these are the objective of the grading of the cables. Now the effect of the system is like this. There are two methods of grading. That first one is the capacitance grading and second one is the intersect grading. Now first one is the capacitance grading. In this method of cable grading, the uniformity of dielectric stress is achieved by using various layers or different dielectric in such a manner that the permittivity epsilon r of any layer is inversely proportional to its radius of distance from the center that is epsilon r is proportional to 1 by x or epsilon rx equals to constant. Therefore, g is proportional to q by 2 pi epsilon 0, which is constant. G is the gradient. Now, these are the diagram. Now consider a cable which is in 3 layers of dielectric of outer diameter is small d1, outer diameter small d1, small d2 and capital D respectively. This is small d1, this is small d1 and this is small d2, and this is the capital D are the diameters. Epsilon r1, epsilon r2 and epsilon r3 have been used here. So if this is epsilon r1, epsilon r2 and epsilon r3. If the permittivities are such that the epsilon r1 is greater than epsilon r2 and it is greater than epsilon r3, and if the maximum stress to which each dielectric is subjected is constant, so epsilon rd equals to epsilon 1 rd equals to epsilon 2, epsilon 1d equals to epsilon r2d equals to epsilon r3d. Now, for the potential difference across the inner layer, we have V1 equals to integration of d by 2 to d1 by 2 g dx, that is equals to integration of d by 2 and d1 by 2 d1 to q 2 pi epsilon 0 into epsilon r dx, and that is equals to q by 2 pi epsilon 0 into epsilon r log e d1 by d, and that is equals to g max d by 2 log e d1 by d, where g max is the maximum gradient, epsilon 0 and epsilon r are the permittivity. Similarly, for v2 equals to, if we calculate the v2 like this, so we can get the v2 equals to g max d1 by 2 log e d2 by d1, and if we calculate the v3 in the same way, then the answer is that v3 equals to g max d2 by 2 log e capital D by d2, and the potential difference between the core and the earth sheet. Core is the conducting part and earth sheet is the external part, that is v equals to v1 plus v2 plus v3, and that is equals to, if we take the common of g max by 2, then the equation is g max by 2 in common and into d log e small d1 by d plus d1 log e small d2 by d1 plus d2 log e capital D by small d2. The advantage of grading in that way, if the overall diameter is same for the non-grade and grade cables, then the permissible shape potential of the cable is increased. That is, for the same permissible shape potential, the size of the graded cable will be smaller than the non-graded cables. So these are the advantages of capacitance grading. Now the second one is intersheet grading. In this method of grading, a homogeneous dielectric is used which is divided into various layers by suitable placing the metal intersheets. These metallic intersheets are held at certain potential which are in between the core potential and the earth potential. There is just a definite potential difference between the inner and outer layer of each sheet, so that each sheet can be treated like a homogeneous single core cable, and we have G1 max equals to V1 by small d by 2 log E d1 by d. Similarly, G2 max equals to V2 divided by small d1 by 2 log E small d2 by small d1. For the same way, G3 max equals to V3 divided by d2 by 2 log E capital D by small d2. But for a homogeneous dielectric, we have G1 max equals to G2 max equals to G3 max. If we putting the value of G1 max, G2 max and G3 max, then that is V1 by small d2 log e small d1 by d, that is equals to V2 by small d1 to log e d2 by d1, that is equals to V3 divided by small d2 by 2 log e capital D by small d2, and that is equals to G max. Again, since all the potential difference are in phase, since the cable is in effect, a series of capacitors are in series, so we also have the V equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Now, grading in practice. Grading is only useful for very high voltage cables for which the ratio capital D by small d is very large. If capital D by small d is 2, the grading will increase the permissible safe working voltage by only 30%. But if capital D by small d equals to 5, the grading will increase the safe working voltage by 100%. With capacitance grading, if chief handicap is due to the fact that there is such few high-grade insulating materials of reasonable cost, those permittivities can be made to vary over the required range. The use of rubber, that is the range of epsilon r is 4 to 6, that means between 4 and 6, and the impregnated paper where the epsilon r equals to 3 to 4 have been stressed, it has been suggested for the cables. However, rubber is very expensive and the cost of dielectric becomes very high. A second difficulty is the possibility of change in permittivity with the time, and many completely after the distribution of dielectric strain and lead to the breakdown of insulation every of the normal operating voltage. Now, there is some problem regarding grading of cables. First problem. So, this is the first problem. A single core cable employing 3 layers of insulation with dielectric constant epsilon r1 equals to 5, epsilon r2 equals to 4 and epsilon r3 equals to 3 respectively has a conductor of radius 1 centimeter. Considering that all the 3 insulating materials are worked at the same maximum potential gradient, work out the practical difference in kV between the core and the earth sheets. The inner radius of the sheet is 2.5 centimeter and the maximum potential gradient is 40 kV per centimeters. So this is the problem. Now the solution. The diameter of the conductor D equals to 2 into 1, that is equals to 2 centimeters. The diameter of the diameter over the insulation capital D equals to 2 into 2.5, that is 5 centimeter. The maximum potential gradient G max equals to 40 kV per centimeter. So these are the values. Let the diameters over the insulations of relative permittivities 5 and 4 be D1 and D2 respectively. As the maximum stress in the 3 dielectrics is the same, so therefore we consider epsilon r1d equals to epsilon r2 d1 equals to epsilon r3 d2, or d1 equals to epsilon r1 by epsilon r2d, and that is equals to 4 by 5 into 2, that is equals to 2.5. Now if we are putting the value of d2, then we can consider d2 equals to epsilon r1 divided by epsilon r3 into d, that is 5 by 3 into 2, that is equals to 3.3 centimeters. Now the permissible peak voltage for the cable equals to G max by 2 into under bracket d log e small d1 by d plus d1 log e small d2 by d1 plus d2 log e capital D by d2. Now if we putting the value of D1, D2 capital D, then the equation is like that: 40 by 2 into under bracket 2 log E 2.5 by 2 plus 2.5 log E 3.33 divided by 2.5 plus 3.33 log E 5 by 3.33. So 20 into under bracket 0.4463 plus 0.7192 plus 1.3516, and that is equals to 50.34 kilowatt. So the working voltage RMS for the cable is equals to 50.34 divided by root 2, that is equals to 35.6 kilovolt. Now the second problem. A 66 kV single core lead sheeted cable is graded by using two dielectrics of relative permittivities 5 and 3 respectively, thickness of each being 1 cm. The core diameter is 2 cm. Determine the maximum stress into the dielectrics. Now these are the solutions. The conductor diameter D, small d equals to 2 cm. The diameter over the insulation of the relative permittivity is 5. So D1 equals to 2 plus 2 into 1, that is equals to 4 cm. Now the diameter over the insulation of relative permittivity is 3. So capital D equals to 4 plus 2 into 1, that is 6. Now let the potential gradient at the conductor surface be G1 max kV per centimeter. Therefore, then the maximum stress in outer dielectric is given by G2 max equals to G1 max D epsilon R1 divided by D1 epsilon R2, and that is equals to G max into 2.2 into 5 divided by 4 into 3, that is equals to 5 by 6 G1 max. Now the system peak voltage per phase is the main voltage divided by root 3. So the Vmax equals to 66 by root 3 into root 2, that is equals to 53.89 kV. On the other hand, we can calculate the system peak voltage is given by the expression. So Vmax equals to G1 max into D by 2 log E small d1 by small d plus G2 max small d1 by 2 into log E capital D by small d1. Now if putting the value of all the parameters, then the Vmax equals to G1 max into under bracket 0.6931 plus 0.6758. So this is equals to 1.36888 G1 max. So the G1 max equals to 53.89 divided by 1.36888 kV per C, that is equals to 39.37 kV per centimeter. Therefore, the maximum stress in the outer dielectric is denoted by G2 max, and G2 max equals to 5 by 6 G max. So 5 by 6, and we already calculate the value of G max is 39.37. So 5 by 6 into 39.37, that is equals to 32.8 kV per centimeter. Now the third problem. A single core cable has a conductor diameter of 2.5 centimeter and a sheet of the internal diameter of the inside diameter is 6 centimeter. Calculate the maximum stress. It is desired to reduce the maximum stress by using two intersheets. The diameters, their best positions. The maximum stress and the voltage on each system voltage is 66 kV 3 phase. Now the solution. System peak voltage per phase. The formula is the voltage divided by root 3 into root 2. So Vmax equals to 6 by root 3 into root 2. So this equals to 53.8888 kV. without intersheet, the maximum stress Gmax equals to 2V divided by small d log E capital D by small d. If we putting the value of all the parameters, then the equation is like that. Gmax equals to 2 into 53.8888 divided by 2.5 log is 6 by 2.5. So this is equals to 49.24 kV per centimeter. Now here the calculated value of Gmax equals to 49.24 kV per centimeters. For same maximum and minimum stress, small d1 by d equals to small d2 by d1 equals to small capital D by d2 equals to alpha. We can consider this equation. So small d1 by d into d2 by d1 into capital D by small d2 equals to capital D by small d, or alpha cube equals to 6 by 2.5. Therefore alpha equals to 1.339. The diameter of the intersheets d1 equals to alpha small d1 equals to alpha small d equals to 1.339 into 2.5, and that is equals to 3.347 centimeters, and the d2 equals small d2 equals to 1.339 into 3.347, and that is equals to 4.481 centimeters. We already know that the V equals to the V1 plus capital V1 plus V2 plus V3. So V equals to Gmax into under bracket small d by 2 log E d1 by small d1 by d plus small d1 by 2 log E small d2 by d1 plus small d2 by 2 log E capital D by small d2, or Gmax into 2.5 by 2 log E alpha plus 3.347 by 2 log E into alpha plus 4.4812 log E into alpha. Now the Gmax equals to 53.8888 divided by 5.164 log E 1.339, and that is equals to 35.75 kV per centimeters. Now peak voltage V1 max equals to Gmax d by small d by 2 log E into d1 by d. If we can put in the value of all the parameters, then the V1 max equals to 13 kV, and peak voltage V2 max equals to G max small d by 2 log E d2 by d1. So the value of G max is 35.75, and d2 by 2 equals to 3.347 by 2 into log E 1.339, and that is equals to 17.46 kilovolt. Now peak voltage on conductor surface Vmax equals to 53.8888 kV. Now the peak voltage on the first intersheet Vmax minus Vmin, so that this is equals to 53.8888 minus 13, so 40.8888 kV. Now the peak voltage on second intersheet equals to peak voltage on the first intersheet minus V2 max. So this is equals to 40.8888 minus 17.46, and the final answer is 23.4288 kV.